Hey, you remember the story about the Ouija board at the Lizzie Borden house?
Yeah, that was kind of creepy.
Welcome to another episode of Our Haunted Travels with your hosts, Sean and Marianne Bond.
Well, hello, Parapeeps, and welcome to another episode of Our Haunted Travels. I am your host, Sean Donnelly.
And I'm your co-host, Marianne Donnelly.
Hey, today in this video, we are talking about Ouija boards, and more particularly, we have a story about the Ouija board from the Lizzie Borden house.
That's right.
Which, follow along here for a little bit, and we'll tell you there about that at the end. So, Ouija boards, out there in the paranormal community...
They get a bad rap.
Well, they get a bad rap. I mean, it's like a mixture, though. You know, with us being more paranormal researchers, okay, you know, you hear like half of the paranormal community says, oh, yeah, we use Ouija boards all the time. And then you have another half of the paranormal community says, oh, no, stay away from them. It's like a mixture. Mm-hmm. You know, have you noticed that?
Yeah.
And it's the same way with locations, too. There's some locations that says no Ouija boards, absolutely
and
not.
And others provide them.
Yeah, and others provide them. Like, they provided them on the Queen Mary. We saw that in the videos of Michael Scott. They actually put it in the room. There's a Ouija board at the Lizzie Borden house. You know? Sure, go ahead. Here you go. But then others, they're like, absolutely not. Don't use them.
Absolutely.
So there's like a mixture. I mean, my opinion is it's just another device that you're using to communicate. You know, whether you do an EVP session or a spirit box or something like that, you're still inviting those spirits to communicate with you, and you need to know how to do it correctly. And if you don't, that's when people get in trouble.
Right. And most people, with the Ouija board, there's usually kids playing around with it, and they don't close sessions, and that's what tends to be the biggest
They
issue.
start out a session, they invite people to come and communicate, they get freaked out and go away, and then they leave a gateway open. And that's why I think it's got such a bad rap. So you got a story that you heard about a girl that was writing a paper about Emma Borden?
Yeah, there was an article that I read, some webpage where she was telling her story. She was apparently writing a paper, maybe eventually would become a book, that when she was in high school, where she was pointing that Emma Borden was actually the murderer and not Lizzie. And so her and her friends would apparently always, during study halls and free time at school, they would make Ouija boards out of paper. And she said they made the board out of paper and they made the planchette out of a tape roll.
Well, still, it's a communication.
So anyhow, they were playing it, and she wasn't even apparently playing that day. She was just in the room standing there watching the other four play. And it came across that it was Emma B. And she's like, ooh, I'm writing a paper about Emma. And so it started to curse and do mean things, apparently, and saying some things that she had written in her paper. But she hadn't shared this with anyone else yet, apparently.
Interesting.
And so she was a little concerned about that, and she apparently doesn't really do much with Ouija boards anymore.
So there's been authors who have written books using the Ouija board, and we have met like in the green screen of some radio shows we've been on of guys that do nothing but Ouija board stuff and things like that, and it's quite interesting. Like, can you imagine writing a novel using a Ouija board?
Yeah.
They're out there. People have written novels using Ouija boards to communicate with spirits.
Apparently somehow along the way Sylvia Plath used Ouija board somehow with her writings. The guy who wrote the book on Flight 401, which we've done some work with Flight 401, but in the past, but not on our channel because we haven't been there to the location, but it's on Panic D. The guy who wrote the book about it apparently went ahead and used a Ouija board to try to communicate with some of those spirits to get a better story.
Yeah, some
So,
interesting stuff.
just a couple little quick ones, but other authors seem to do the same thing.
So, the title of this is Lizzie Borden's Ouija board, okay? And it's not the Ouija board that Lizzie Borden owned. It's the Ouija board that is in the Lizzie Borden house.
Right, the
okay?
Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast house.
Right. So I'll show you a picture of that right here. Okay. And this story kind of relates to attachments that can happen to items, okay? Be very careful. If you go into a haunted location, don't take things. Don't steal them, because you never know if there's an attachment, okay? Well, there is reportedly an attachment to that Ouija board in the Lizzie Borden house. Mm-hmm. Now, the story that we were told, and I would just like, we have to do a video just about this story and about Ouija boards. Somebody who was staying there at the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast decided that they're going to take a souvenir.
They got this bright idea to steal the Ouija board from the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast.
Right. So, you know how you take towels and, soaps, that kind of thing? We're going to take the Ouija board from the Lizzie Borden house. So they do, and they take it. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't gone for long, because
just a couple months later.
A couple months later, it was shipped back.
With no return address.
No return address, and a note said, "We are very sorry.
Make it stop."
Make it stop.
Interesting.
So, yeah, there's definitely a reported attachment to that Ouija board at the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast. So beware of things that you take from haunted locations.
Right. Make sure you get permission.
Yes. And specifically the Ouija board at the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast.
Yes. Which, by the way, is in the parlor. It lives in the parlor where Andrew Borden lost his life.
Yeah. And when we got our EVP.
Yes, it's in the same room where we got our EVP. Yeah.
Do you have anything else you would like to add to this video?
Just that it's interesting that it's there. And it was really interesting that it left and came back.
Word of advice. Beware.
Don't take it.
Yeah.
But they do say you can play with it while you're there.
Yeah, you can play with it.
Yeah, they did suggest even that night, they're like, hey, you guys can use it if you want. We did not partake in that, but they do say, yeah, sure, go for it. Use it, but just don't take it.
Just don't take it. Not a good idea. Don't take it. Not a good idea. All right, folks. Hey, till next time.
Thanks for watching.
And happy hunting.
Let us know if you like this video by hitting that thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to see more videos from us in the future, support our channel by hitting that subscribe button and dinging that bell so you get notified the next time there's a video from Panic D Videos.
Thanks for watching.
Happy hunting.